It's a threat overlooked by most new urban gardeners, soil contaminants, and the risk of gardening in earth with a soiled history you may not be aware of.
7 Action News reporter Matthew Smith is live in Southfield with what we need to know before we start our very own garden. Good morning, Matt.
Morning. You know, Alicia Keenan, if you haven't noticed, urban gardening, sometimes you see these raised beds out here. This is one reason people sometimes do this. There's actually contaminants in the soil beneath the ground. Not always, sometimes people just do it for the looks, but there is a reason that groups like the EPA put out best practices for you to test your soil and figure out whether or not there's something more going on in the ground beneath you. And one of the big issues you can find is lead. Heck, if you've driven by Collins Park in Detroit, you've seen what's done when they find high levels of lead in the ground. They actually found stuff here when they were prepping to put in new playground equipment. But could you be growing in bad soil? That's why the folks behind Michigan Urban Farm Initiative say everyone should test their soil before they start to grow.
It's just a good caution to have. If you have a land plot that was priorly industrial, you should kind of expect some problems and some complications occurring with that. But if it was residential, you'll probably be more towards the safe side, but either way, you should definitely just get that tested and figure out.
All right, so to have somebody come out and actually test the soil for you is expensive. It's why a lot of people recommend getting the sample yourself and sending it off someplace. The folks you just heard from, the Michigan Urban Farming Initiative, they suggest UMass Amherst because it's a lot cheaper than the other areas and the groups in the area, and you can actually send it off. So one of the things that you can do to do this, and I'm going to put this all at WXYZ.com, but you can get a lead pipe like this, or this one is actually a metal pipe, not lead, I should say. Lead on the mind because of what we're talking about with the soil, but basically I got the wooden dowel that goes inside. You can fit it, you can get down about 6 to 8 inches, you get the dirt out of there. You could even use a spade if you want to do it that way as well, but this is just to make sure you get that full 6 to 8 inches down. You want to make sure that you pick out all the particles that are in there, the extra grass, the rocks, all that stuff. Eventually, when you get it down to just the dirt, you'll want to set it out and let it lay out in the sun so you can dry it out. You don't want to send it in a wet sample, and eventually all you'll need is to get 1 cup and put it in a plastic bag. When you get more dirt, it's going to be a little bit easier, but you put it in there, you'll label it. Again, we have all the information over at WXYZ.com. We just published a story on this. And again, it's important because we're talking about the potential of lead or other contaminants getting in to your soil. And if you're growing stuff in there, you're eating it, you could potentially be contaminating you and your family. One more reason that you should be paying attention. They say it's not a death sentence. Don't worry about it. It is possible you'll find stuff in there. There's ways to work around it. You can still be safe, affordable, and you can be green when you're planting all this stuff in your garden as well. For now, we're live in Southfield. Matthew Smith, 7 Action News.